guys, and today I will be brutally honest with you. Even after 2 years of constant shellings, bombings, destructions, I am convinced the real tragedy in life is to be born in Russia. In Russia, not Ukraine that is bombed, but is Russia that pretends to be safe. And to be born as an oppositioner in Russia is not just a tragedy, but a death sentence. We all know there is no opposition in Russia. If someone appears, he or she disappears really quickly. And the example of Navalny illustrates that tragically well. Not only a living Navalny was dangerous, but even his body. After his death, after his murder in one of the Far East Russian prisons. His mother cannot get the body, and there are serious negotiations and demands that Russian government puts in front of her to get this body. For example, they want the funeral to be private without any open ceremonies. Of course, this may inspire some protests. Let me tell you more about this very dangerous precedent that may be a start to a series of events, terror, arrests, and other stuff, and result in a civil war in Russia. But I don't know, maybe I don't mind. My name is Anna, and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel, you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight against Russian propaganda, fake news, and their authoritarianism that is dangerous not just for Russians, but for all the world. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. So let's confess, all of us knew the fate of Navalny since the start of his political career, because oppositioners do not live long in Russia. First, he was poisoned on a plane, miraculously survived, and bravely decided to return back to Federation, where he was really quickly arrested. And then sent to prison that is located in the Arctic, really far away, in bad conditions. From what we understand, he was also often sent from one prison to another so that his tracks could have been lost. He did not have communication with his family, with his supporters, and the plan was that people will forget about him or something like that. By the way, Russian population is not very persistent in fighting for their own brothers or leaders. And when we have learned about his death, what frightened me most is the fact that no one was surprised. We knew he would die. You knew that. I knew that. And everyone knows whom to blame, Putin. But nothing will happen to this so-called leader. Neither deaths of hundreds and thousands of Ukrainians, nor the death of a very vivid political figure, oppositioner in Russia, will not stop so many global political leaders from thinking how to negotiate with Putin, who is actually the greatest criminal of our times. Remember to subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine, democratic leaders, and to see Russia defeated. So I was sad to learn that he's dead. I'm not a fan of Navalny. He is very chauvinistic. He was very imperialistic. But once again, he was an adequate person. He was not a dictator of 30 years already. And any change of regime inside Russia will definitely be helpful both for Ukraine and for all the democratic world. But at the same time, we all knew it's impossible. And what is more frightening, what is more terrifying, that after his death, there are no normal reports about the reason. Of course, we all know Putin killed him, but I mean something official, something to pretend, something to at least try and explain. No, nothing. They simply say his health deteriorated. Of course, you did everything to deteriorate his health. But his mother was trying to see the body. It's actually an important procedure, and it took her days and days and days to try and get this information where his body is. They were sending her to different morgues, looking for different commissions, and none had answers. Just recently, she recorded a video saying that she saw the body of her son, but they don't give the corpse back because they want her to promise to have a very closed and private funeral so that no public is allowed to visit. And you clearly understand the reason for that. Putin is very much afraid of protests that the funeral of Navalny can lead to. Let me know in the comments below, do you think there is an opportunity for any kind of serious protests inside Russia or the start of a civil war because of this assassination of the oppositional leader? I will tell you, I think no. First of all, because Russian population is extremely depoliticized. Second, because Putin is really strong at the moment, and he has the support of all the FSB, KGB, and other services. And also, I learned it from some subscribers that new face recognition, video control devices are everywhere around Moscow, St. Petersburg, and other big cities, and people get arrested much faster than it was like 2 years or 3 years ago. And they also have a very crazy idea to get these people who are arrested for protesting, to mobilize them and to send them to the front lines in Ukraine, which is like absurd. I don't know what will these people do here, how will they protest, especially if they are anti-war. Of course, there are not many anti-war protesters inside Russian Federation, but still if they exist. And this may be a signal that something really bad is coming to Russia. And this is also their karma and their destiny, because they did not stop this evil at the very start. You know that I love quoting Churchill, that if the country is run by a dictator, it is not only a dictator to blame. And oh my God, it is so much true. And we have to blame millions who allowed first Putin to grow stronger, then Putin to stay in power for decades, then Putin to change constitution, Putin to stop any kind of other thoughts and opposition, and then Putin invading Ukraine, Georgia, and other countries. People were observing and hoping nothing will happen to them, but it will. It's always like that. It's the rule of any authoritarian or totalitarian regime. So let's just watch what happens. Will it grow faster into real totalitarian state, or some protests will appear? I cannot predict it in the moment, and it's interesting to read your thoughts in the comments below. Also, remember to join me for a live this Saturday. It's a very important day, 24th of February, 9 p.m. Kyiv time, for a live conversation about this 2 years of resilience. Subscribe to my Instagram. I'm very active there to see more of ordinary Ukrainian life. Discord, Threads, and Twitter, all the links are in the description of this video. And remember to check our very meaningful historic collection of merch, Icons of Revolution. These are 3 Ukrainian writers designed by a famous Ukrainian street artist, Sociopath, who allowed us to use them on a merch in this very limited collection. The link is also below this video. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons, but most importantly, thank you for being friends of Ukraine and standing with us in these very challenging times. February is always difficult. Slava Ukraini!